Run out of ideas for survival during the COVID-19 pandemic? Then we're here to help. Hi, my name is Mark and I'm from Yuma Finance, and we are property and business finance specialists. In today's video, we're going to take a closer look at trading businesses and surviving through the current COVID-19 pandemic. We've enlisted the help of Jason Tomlin, and he's a business coach and consultant, and he's going to take the time to share with us some of his ideas around survival during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Hi Jason, thanks very much for joining us. Really appreciate you taking the time this afternoon to speak with us. So Jason, you're a business advisor with many years experience, worked with many businesses across a range of sectors. Where does a business start in trying to deal with the current climate?
Well, how you doing, Mark? I think firstly, survival is important. And I think there's definitely some truth in the saying of survival of the fittest. So there's a number of factors really. How fit was that person's business going into 2020 before COVID? Did they have a clear plan for financial year 2021? Did they have clear cash, cost, sales forecasts and budgets? I think that's important. Clear sales, clear marketing strategy. I think again, key things that could get overlooked. Clear responsibilities within their business, clear roles and accountabilities. And cash reserves. Do people put away for a rainy day? So I think survival at the start, I think, would be very clear with black and white figures, numbers and figures. As cold as that sounds. But I think the businesses that will survive will be the ones that are, lean, fit, were healthy going into 2020. And what they do, I think, going into the next sort of 3 to 6 months, really, because I think if you look at survival as well, it's also, as you know, accessing the right financial support.
Yeah.
There's a lot of products, there's a lot of services out there, on the market. There's a lot of information coming through. You've certainly seen that. I've certainly seen that. It's a bit of a minefield to go through. So I think the businesses that have good accounting packages, have good finance advice, good finance teams, will be a lot clearer in terms of what products maybe they need, what services financial services they need. And I imagine that sometimes the finance team in businesses they take a little bit of a back seat. It's normally the sales and the marketing teams that, the big guns. And I think that's flipped. I think if you've got a good finance person in your business at the minute, then they're certainly the big player at the minute. So yeah, I would say twofold really: how healthy you were going into 2020, and understanding, I suppose, your business model and how that's going to change, and what support and finance you're going to need, to get you through the next 3 to 6 months.
Fantastic. No, I think absolutely spot on. I think similar to the virus itself, I guess it attacks the weakest. The weakest individuals are the most at risk. And the same can be said with businesses. Those that were weak at the beginning of this pandemic and the crisis are those that are probably going to feel this the most. And hopefully they'll survive. But if there are going to be casualties, it will likely be the weaker of the businesses, unless obviously you're in a sector that has completely been wiped out. And I think that potentially takes no prisoners, and we can see a lot of potentially very good businesses fail in some certain sectors as well. So there's plenty to be thought of there. Are there any sort of tips that you would like to, or you can share with us, that around the points you just mentioned, some tips that you think actually these are the key things you need to be really considering around, especially now that you've probably got a bit more time on your hands than usual?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, as an exit or to try and get through to the other side is like anything, keep it simple. A lot of businesses overcomplicate things. So I think keep it simple. I think you've got to identify your core products and services. how relevant are they right now to to customers? Yeah. So again, I think it's honing in on the basics and a core structure within your business. I would say, how do you keep your customers currently? How do you keep them? How do you keep your business relevant is important. So I think that's something to look at. Targeting your spend. Where are you spending your money at the minute? Is it relevant? Do you need to revisit your return on investment? You spending lots of money on marketing, for example, in areas that are just not going to give you a return at the minute. So I think targeting where you spend your money. Customers, without customers, there's no sales. Without sales, there's no cash. So you've got to keep customers happy. And how are you doing that currently? So I think that's a key thing. And I don't think I mentioned team. The culture within your, what was the culture like in your business before 2020? Because I think the culture within your business now, to get out of this, you're going to really need some, resilient people. You're going to need some positive people, and you're going to be, you need some people in your business that are going to put some real hard yards in. If people are just happy to get 80% furloughed, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I'm sure we'll have to pay that back, Mark, at some point.
I'm sure we will.
But I'm sure we will. I think the people who are looked after within their business, the business owners are, empathetic, but also look after those people, then they're going to they'll go the extra mile to get you out of this. So I certainly think, looking after your team, making sure you've got the right individuals that can work well in a team. And probably finally, it's communicate success, because there's a lot of negativity, there's a lot of bad news at the minute. So, I think if your business is relevant, if you're making a difference to people, then celebrate that. It should be a success story. So I think people need to get past what's happened, start looking into how they can fix it. So, and I think, like I said, the fittest businesses, the ones that review how they work, their structure, they've got process in place, they've got a strategy. These are the businesses I think are going to come out the other end.
Yeah, fantastic. No, and I really appreciate that, and I appreciate the very high level insight. I'm sure we can talk around this all afternoon, as we have done in previous conversations to this, and there's a lot more detail to be explored around those areas. I think there's some nuggets of information for people there to start to think about. And a lot of this is more thought-provoking than answers. I'm sure the business owners will come up with the answers themselves. They just need to ask themselves the right questions in a lot of instances. So really appreciate you taking the time this afternoon, and no doubt we'll catch up very soon.
All the best. Good to talk to you.
Thanks. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
So let's just recap on some of the points that Jason shared with us. Firstly, you need a financial plan, understanding where you're at currently and where you need to be. Where possible, you obviously need to lean upon your financial team. If you're not of a size where you've got your own financial team, looking at your accountants and any business advisors or experts that you can engage with. Keep it simple. Don't try and overcomplicate an already complicated situation. Identify your core products and services, making sure that they are current and remain relevant throughout the pandemic and into the future. And lastly, target your spending, making sure that you're spending your money wisely to make it last as long as it possibly can. So there we have it. There's an insight into some of the survival ideas for businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic. I hope you found that useful. We'll be talking more with Jason in upcoming videos, so stay tuned. Thank you very much.